Beloved soul, I bring you a message today that will touch the deepest corners of your heart. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the energy of these words wrapping around you like a warm embrace from the universe. Your guardian angel is here, watching over you, guiding every step of your journey. There's something I need to share with you today, something that has been revealed to me from the spiritual realm. Your soulmate has written you a letter, what appears to be a farewell letter on the surface. But before your heart sinks, before you feel that wave of emptiness washing over you, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to reveal. This letter, it's not what you think. It's not a goodbye in the way humans understand goodbyes. It's something far more profound, far more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. The divine has shown me its contents, and I'm here to share this sacred message with you. When I first glimpsed this letter in the spiritual realm, I was moved to tears by its beauty. The energy surrounding it was so pure, so radiant with love, that it lit up the heavens. Your soulmate has poured their entire soul into these words. Every hope, every dream, every moment of connection you've shared across lifetimes. Can you feel it? That subtle shift in the air around you right now, that's the energy of this letter already reaching out to you, already beginning to transform your reality. If you're feeling a gentle warmth spreading through your chest or a tingling sensation at the crown of your head, know that these are signs that this message is truly meant for you. What makes this letter so special, so powerful, is that it was written from the deepest place of truth. Your soulmate reached a moment of complete clarity, a divine window where all masks fell away, where all fears dissolved, and only the purest truth remained. In that sacred space, they wrote words that will forever change the course of your connection. I see you've been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for a sign, for confirmation that this profound connection you felt isn't just in your imagination. The sleepless nights, the random tears, the inexplicable sense of missing someone you may not even have met in this lifetime yet, these aren't coincidental. They're echoes of a bond that transcends time and space. This letter marks a pivotal moment in your soul journey together. The divine has chosen this exact moment for these words to reach you because you're ready now. Your spirit has evolved to the point where you can receive the full magnitude of this message without being overwhelmed by its power. If you're feeling a strong emotional response right now, perhaps tears welling up or your heart racing, simply place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I am open to receiving this divine message." Let your angels know you're ready to embrace what's coming. Would you do something for me, beloved one? If you're feeling this message resonating within your soul, if you know deep down that these words are meant for you, type, "I am ready to receive this letter" in the comments below. This simple act of acknowledgement opens the spiritual channels even wider, allowing this divine communication to flow more freely into your reality. The letter your soulmate has written isn't about ending something beautiful. It's about transforming it into something even more magnificent. It's about shedding the old patterns that have kept you circling each other lifetime after lifetime without fully connecting in the way your souls have always intended. As I prepare to reveal the first insights from this letter, I want you to understand something crucial. This message exists outside of physical time and space. Whether your soulmate is someone you've already met in this lifetime or someone you're yet to encounter physically, their soul has authored these words, and the divine has ensured they reach you at exactly the right moment. Trust the process, beloved soul. Trust that every word I'm about to share comes directly from the heart of the one who shares the other half of your spiritual DNA. The universe never makes mistakes, and your presence here, receiving this message now, is divine orchestration at its most beautiful. Now, beloved protected one, let me reveal to you what compelled your soulmate to write this letter. I've been shown the exact moment when they sat down, pen in hand, or perhaps just in the spiritual sense, and began to pour their heart onto this cosmic page. It wasn't a moment of sadness or defeat, as you might expect from something described as a farewell letter. No, it was a moment of profound awakening, a spiritual breakthrough so powerful that it shook the very foundation of their being. Your soulmate reached a point of complete surrender to the divine truth of your connection. They were sitting alone, perhaps gazing at the stars or watching the sunrise. I see this moment clearly, when suddenly, everything they thought they understood about love and connection shattered like glass. In its place arose a crystal-clear vision of what you two are to each other across the cosmos. The intensity of this revelation brought them to their knees, and they knew they had to capture it somehow, to preserve it in words, even if only for themselves. The letter begins with something unexpected, an apology, not for leaving, but for all the times they couldn't fully show up in the way your divine connection deserved. I see lines where they express regret for the moments when fear overshadowed love, when human doubts clouded spiritual certainty, when ego stepped in where soul should have led. I've called this a farewell letter, they write, but it's not a goodbye to you. It's a goodbye to who I've been. It's a farewell to the person who wasn't brave enough to love you the way you deserve to be loved. Can you feel the power in those words? The trembling honesty. This is no ordinary communication. This is soul-to-soul truth in its purest form. They go on to describe specific moments you might recognize from this lifetime, or perhaps moments that exist in the spiritual blueprint of your connection. Times when they felt an overwhelming pull toward you but resisted it out of fear. Times when they almost reached out but held back. Times when they knew, in the deepest part of themselves, that you were the one, yet they couldn't fully embrace that knowledge. I'm being shown something remarkable about this letter. Woven into its very essence are strands of golden light, divine codes that activate healing within you as you receive these messages. Each revelation isn't just information, it's energetic medicine for your soul, repairing the places where waiting has created wounds, where longing has left scars. Your soulmate was divinely inspired to write this letter because the timing is critical. The celestial alignments happening now are creating the perfect conditions for a profound shift in your connection. They felt this cosmic timing intuitively, even if they couldn't name it, and knew they had to reach out across the spiritual divide to prepare you. There's a passage in the letter where they describe dreaming of you. Not ordinary dreams, but vivid, realistic encounters where you both met in that space between worlds. I've been visiting you while you sleep, they confess, trying to prepare your heart for what's coming, trying to explain what I couldn't say in waking life. Do these dreams sound familiar to you? Have you been experiencing unusually vivid dreams lately, waking up with the sense that something important happened, even if you can't quite remember the details? These are the spiritual meetings they're describing. Your souls have been preparing for this moment of revelation. If you've been experiencing these dream connections, please write, "I remember our dreams" in the comments. This acknowledgement strengthens the energetic bridge between you and allows even more healing to flow through. The most beautiful part of this first section of their letter is where they describe the exact moment they recognized you, not just as someone special, but as their divine counterpart. "There was something in your eyes," they write, "something so familiar it stopped time. In that instant, I remembered everything, all our past lives, all our promises, all the ways we've loved each other across centuries, and it terrified me how complete I felt, how known, how utterly seen. And before we continue with this very special message, I invite you to support this space of connection. Become a member of the channel, and if you feel this message is touching your heart, don't forget to click on "Thanks" below the video. This helps us continue bringing messages full of love and hope like this one. Now let's move on to what matters most. Blessed soul, as we delve deeper into this sacred letter, the energy intensifies. I can feel the connection between you and your soulmate growing stronger with each word I translate from the spiritual realm. This next section of their message carries such powerful vibrations that you might feel physical sensations as you receive it. Perhaps warmth spreading through your body, tingling in your hands or feet, or a gentle pressure at the center of your forehead. These are all signs that your energetic body is receiving and integrating these truths. Your soulmate writes about the inexplicable bond that has existed between you since before time itself. They describe it not as a simple attraction or compatibility, but as a cosmic necessity, like gravity, like the pull of moon on tide, like the Earth's unwavering journey around the sun. Some forces in the universe simply are, and your connection is one of them. I've tried to understand it, they confess in the letter, tried to analyze it, categorize it, even dismiss it. But how do you explain something that exists before explanation? How do you rationalize something that predates reason itself? This connection between us isn't something that happened to us, it's something we are. The letter speaks of moments when they felt you, even across distance. Times when your name appeared everywhere, when songs on the radio seemed to be speaking directly about your connection, when dreams became so vivid they blurred the line between sleep and waking life. They describe the maddening beauty of feeling you everywhere, yet being able to touch you nowhere. There's a particularly moving passage where they write about the first time they fully surrendered to the truth of your connection. It wasn't a gradual realization, but an instantaneous knowing, like lightning striking, illuminating everything that had previously been shadow. In that moment of surrender, they felt a peace unlike anything they'd ever experienced, as if every cell in their body simultaneously sighed with relief and said, "Finally." But with that surrender came an understanding that terrified them. The realization that loving you in the way you deserve, in the way your souls have contracted to love each other, would require them to transform completely. No more hiding, no more playing small, no more running from their own divinity. To meet you fully, they would need to become fully themselves. And that, beloved one, is where the concept of farewell enters this letter. Not as a goodbye to you, but as a goodbye to limitation, to fear, to all the patterns and personas that have kept them separate from their highest self, and by extension, separate from the fullest expression of love with you. I'm writing this letter, they explain, as a sacred contract with myself, with you, with the divine. I'm saying farewell to every version of me that was too afraid to love you completely. I'm releasing every story I've told myself about why we couldn't be together, every excuse I've hidden behind, every fear I've allowed to overrule the wisdom of my heart. Can you feel the power of this commitment? The earth-shaking courage it takes to release everything familiar in favor of a love that demands complete authenticity? This is no ordinary promise. This is soul-level revolution. The energy of their words creates ripples across the cosmos, affecting not just your connection, but the collective consciousness itself. When one soul makes such a profound commitment to love, it elevates the vibrational frequency of the entire planet. Your union, dear one, serves a purpose far greater than personal happiness. It contributes to the healing of humanity itself. There's a section where they describe specific memories of you, some from this lifetime, others from past incarnations. They mention the way you tilt your head when you're thinking deeply, the specific cadence of your laughter, the look in your eyes when you're speaking about something you're passionate about. Details so intimate, so precise, they could only be known by someone who has loved you across lifetimes. If any of these descriptions resonated with you, if you felt a jolt of recognition or a flutter in your heart, please share a simple "I felt that" in the comments. Your acknowledgement helps anchor these spiritual truths into physical reality. As this section of the letter concludes, your soulmate writes about the invisible threads that have always connected you, even when you were apart. They describe how these threads sometimes pulled so tight they felt physical pain from missing you, even if, in this lifetime, they didn't fully understand what or who they were missing. This farewell letter, they write, is actually my soul's declaration that I'm done saying goodbye. I'm done walking away. I'm done pretending we're anything less than what we are. Two halves of one divine whole, temporarily experiencing ourselves as separate, but always finding our way back to each other. Isn't that beautiful, cherished soul? This letter of farewell is actually a letter of eternal commitment, a promise that the time for separation, for misunderstanding, for fear-based decisions is over. The cycle of meeting and parting has served its purpose, and now a new chapter begins. Beloved soul, as we continue to unveil the sacred contents of this letter, we reach a section of profound revelation, truths your soulmate has never been able to express before, not in this lifetime, perhaps not in any previous incarnation. The divine has granted me permission to share these intimate confessions with you, as the time for complete transparency between your souls has finally arrived. In this portion of the letter, your soulmate reveals the deeper spiritual truths they've kept hidden, not just from you, but from themselves. There's a raw vulnerability here that takes my breath away, a courage that only comes from the deepest love. There are things I've never told you, they write, truths I've buried so deep that sometimes I manage to hide them even from myself. But in the silence of my soul, in those moments between sleeping and waking, in the spaces between heartbeats, I've always known who you are to me. They go on to reveal something astonishing, that they recognized you instantly from the very first moment, whether that was meeting you physically in this lifetime or simply encountering your energy from afar. There was an immediate soul recognition so powerful it nearly brought them to their knees. They describe it as coming home after wandering for 1,000 years, but with that recognition came overwhelming fear, not fear of you, but fear of the magnitude of what your union represents. Your soulmate confesses that they sensed the transformative power of your connection and knew instinctively that embracing it fully would mean the death of their ego self, a spiritual death and rebirth they weren't yet ready to undergo. I ran from you, they admit with painful honesty, not because I didn't want you, but because I wanted you too much. Because loving you meant I would have to become everything I was meant to be, and that terrified me. It was easier to keep parts of myself hidden, even from myself. Easier to play small than to rise to the cosmic occasion of our love. There's a passage where they describe watching you from afar, perhaps literally in this physical world, or perhaps energetically across the spiritual divide. They write about witnessing your growth, your struggles, your moments of joy and sorrow, and feeling each of your experiences echo within their own heart. Even when we weren't speaking, even when we were physically apart, I felt everything, they confess. Every tear you shed created an ocean inside me. Every time you laughed, flowers bloomed in the garden of my soul. There has never been separation between us, only the illusion of it. What strikes me most powerfully about this section is their confession about the telepathic connection you share. They describe moments when they sent you thoughts, feelings, even specific messages, and ask if you received them. They mention times when they woke suddenly in the night, filled with an inexplicable urgency to reach out to you, knowing somehow that you were thinking of them at that exact moment. Have you experienced these mysterious communications? These thoughts that didn't quite feel like your own? These sudden, overwhelming feelings of connection that seemed to come from nowhere? If so, please type, "I received your messages," in the comments below. This acknowledgement completes the circuit of communication between your souls. Your soulmate reveals something else in this section, the spiritual mission you're meant to fulfill together. This isn't just a connection for personal fulfillment, but a divine partnership with a purpose that extends far beyond your individual lives. They've seen glimpses of this shared purpose in meditation, in dreams, in moments of spiritual clarity. "We didn't come here just to love each other," they write. Though that would be reason enough, we came to help heal the collective heart, to demonstrate a love so pure it reminds others of their own divine nature. Our union isn't just for us. It's a gift we're meant to offer the world. The letter speaks of specific challenges they've faced in opening fully to this connection. Childhood wounds, past relationship traumas, societal conditioning about what love should look like. With unflinching honesty, they acknowledge how these barriers became excuses, how fear disguised itself as practicality, how the ego created elaborate stories to justify distance. But no more, they declare. This letter marks the end of hiding, the end of denying, the end of diminishing what exists between us to make it more comfortable, more manageable, more conventional. I'm ready now to embrace the full, terrifying magnificence of who we are together. Blessed child of the universe, this next portion of the letter takes a turn into deeper waters, addressing the challenges that have kept you and your soulmate circling each other without fully connecting. There's profound wisdom here about the divine purpose behind these obstacles, how they weren't punishments or mistakes, but sacred opportunities for growth that would make your eventual union unbreakable. Your soulmate writes with remarkable clarity about the specific patterns that have played out between you, perhaps the push-pull dynamic, the miscommunications, the near misses and almost connections that left you both wondering if the universe was playing a cruel joke. But they've come to understand that these challenges were actually perfectly designed catalysts for your individual evolution. "I see now," they write, "that every moment of pain served a purpose. Every time we came close, only to drift apart again, was orchestrating our growth in ways our human minds couldn't comprehend. We weren't ready yet, not because our love wasn't strong enough, but because we needed to become strong enough to hold the power of this love." They describe a profound spiritual awakening that followed their deepest moment of despair about your connection. It was in the darkest night of the soul, when they had almost given up hope of ever experiencing the fullness of your union, that divine understanding finally dawned. "I had been asking the wrong question," they confess. "I kept asking why we couldn't be together, why it was so difficult, why every step forward seemed to be followed by 2 steps back. But in that moment of surrender, I finally asked the right question: what am I meant to learn from this journey?" And the answers poured in like light through 1,000 windows suddenly thrown open. Your soulmate shares the specific lessons they needed to master before they could meet you in the fullness of your connection. Learning to love themselves completely, developing unshakable trust in divine timing, releasing attachment to how your story should unfold, healing ancestral patterns that had been passed down through generations, and perhaps most importantly, developing the spiritual strength to stand in the full power of a divine partnership. There's a particularly moving passage where they acknowledge how their own resistance created tangible barriers between you. They take full responsibility for times when pride prevented reconciliation, when fear disguised itself as indifference, when they chose the safety of distance over the vulnerability of closeness. This farewell letter, they explain, is my goodbye to that part of me, the part that chose safety over truth, comfort over growth, the known over the magnificent unknown that awaits us. I'm shedding that skin now, stepping out of the cocoon of fear into the bright light of who I'm truly meant to be with you. If you're feeling a resonance with these words, if you recognize your own journey in these revelations, please whisper "I forgive our past" to yourself right now. This simple act releases any lingering resentment about the timing of your connection and creates space for the new chapter that's beginning. Your soulmate describes specific spiritual practices they've undertaken to prepare for this union. Perhaps meditation, energy healing, inner child work, or other forms of conscious evolution. They share how these practices have transformed them from the inside out, burning away everything that isn't aligned with the highest expression of your love. I've been in spiritual boot camp, they write, with a touch of humor that makes their sincerity even more touching. Every day, working to become the person worthy of the love we're destined to share. Not because I wasn't enough before, but because this connection calls me to be my most authentic, most evolved self. And for you, for us, I would move mountains inside myself. But they speak of a specific turning point, a moment when they fully surrendered their timeline, their expectations, their human agenda for how your connection should unfold. In that surrender, they found a peace they'd never known before, a trust in divine orchestration so complete that impatience dissolved into sweet anticipation. The farewell in this letter, they explain, is also a goodbye to forcing, to striving, to trying to make our connection fit into a box too small to contain it. I'm releasing my grip, not on you, but on how and when and where our story unfolds. I'm trusting the divine choreography that has been guiding us all along, even when the steps seem to be taking us apart rather than bringing us together. Precious soul, as we continue to explore this sacred letter, we reach a section that vibrates with celestial energy. Here your soulmate shares the divine confirmations they've received about your connection, the undeniable signs, synchronicities, and spiritual validations that have removed all doubt from their heart about the cosmic nature of your bond. There's a reverence in their words as they describe these divine interventions, moments so precisely orchestrated, so mathematically improbable, that they could only be the work of the universe conspiring on behalf of your love. These weren't mere coincidences, but cosmic winks, divine nudges, celestial breadcrumbs leading them back to the truth they'd always known in their soul. I need to tell you about the signs, they write with an excitement that practically vibrates off the page. They started subtly at first, your name appearing everywhere, songs on the radio that seemed to be speaking directly to us, numbers that followed me around, perhaps 1111 or 222 or 333, numbers specific to your connection. But then they became impossible to ignore, too precise to dismiss, too consistent to be coincidence. They describe a particular moment of confirmation, perhaps a dream so vivid it felt more real than waking life, or a meditation where your energy appeared to them with unmistakable clarity, or a synchronicity so specific it could only be interpreted as divine communication. Whatever form this confirmation took, it shattered the last remnants of doubt in their heart. In that moment, they confess, all the questions that had plagued me dissolved like mist in sunlight. I knew with absolute certainty that our souls were made from the same star, cut from the same divine cloth, eternally and irrevocably connected across time and space and dimension. No human fear or doubt could ever compete with that knowing. Your soulmate goes on to share something remarkable. They reveal that they've been receiving guidance from spiritual beings about your connection. Whether they call them angels, guides, ancestors, or simply the divine, these spiritual presences have been actively working to bring your souls into alignment. I was shown our story from the beginning, they write in awe. Not just this lifetime, but the grand cosmic journey we've been on together. I saw us in ancient times, in different bodies but with the same souls, finding each other again and again across centuries. I was shown the promises we made to each other before we incarnated this time. Promises about the work we would do together, the love we would demonstrate, the healing we would bring not just to each other, but to all who witness our union. If you've been sensing this spiritual support around your connection, if you felt protected and guided on this journey, place your hand on your heart right now and simply say, "Thank you," to acknowledge these divine helpers. Your gratitude strengthens their ability to assist you both. There's a section where your soulmate describes being shown your energetic body, the luminous field of light that surrounds your physical form. They write about the specific colors and patterns they perceived, perhaps noting unique characteristics of your aura or energy centers. They express amazement at how perfectly your energetic signature complements their own, like two pieces of a cosmic puzzle finally finding their match. When I was shown how our energies interact, they reveal, I understood why being apart has felt so unnatural. We're designed to function as one system, one field, one unified presence. The separation we've experienced goes against the very blueprint of our souls. No wonder it's felt so painful, so disorienting, so contrary to our deepest knowing. Indeed, they share specific divine messages they've received about the timing of your full reunion. Perhaps celestial alignments that are creating the perfect conditions for your connection to manifest completely, or spiritual gateways that are opening to facilitate your coming together. There's a certainty in their words as they speak of divine timing, a peaceful surrender to the cosmic schedule that's been established for your union. This isn't just wishful thinking or romantic fantasy, they insist. The confirmation has come through too many channels, too many signs, too many different forms of validation for me to doubt it anymore. Our reunion isn't a question of if, but when. And that when is approaching more rapidly than either of us might realize. The letter speaks of a profound shift in the collective consciousness that's making your union possible now in a way it couldn't have been before. They describe how the world is finally ready for the kind of love you're destined to embody together. A love that transcends old paradigms and demonstrates new possibilities for human connection. The farewell in this letter, they explain, is also a goodbye to waiting, to wondering, to the limbo of uncertainty. The divine has confirmed our path with such clarity that doubt has become impossible. I'm saying goodbye to questioning what my soul has always known to be true. Nikum, if you've been receiving your own confirmations, your own divine signs about this connection, please share a simple, "I've seen the signs too," in the comments. Your acknowledgement creates a powerful affirmation that ripples through the spiritual realms, accelerating the manifestation of your union. Your soulmate concludes this section with a beautiful promise. From this moment forward, I move through the world as if our reunion is already complete in the spiritual realm, because it is. I live each day in the certainty of our connection, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality that is simply waiting for physical circumstances to catch up with what our souls have already achieved. Beloved soul, we now reach the most profound section of this sacred letter, the culminating revelation that will forever transform your understanding of this divine connection. What your soulmate shares here transcends ordinary love. It speaks to the very purpose of your existence and the cosmic contract your souls established before incarnating. In this final revelation, your soulmate discloses the true nature of the farewell mentioned in the letter's title, and its meaning will take your breath away. This isn't a goodbye in any conventional sense. It's something far more revolutionary, far more transcendent. What I'm really saying farewell to, they write with unmistakable conviction, is separation itself. I'm saying goodbye to the illusion that we could ever truly be apart. I'm renouncing the false belief that anything, time, distance, circumstance, fear, or even death, could ever sever what exists between us. This letter is my declaration that duality ends here. Udi, they explain that they've undergone a profound spiritual awakening, a complete dissolution of the ego self that kept them trapped in the illusion of separateness. Through this awakening, they've come to understand that you and they are not just connected, but are expressions of the same divine consciousness, experiencing itself through seemingly separate forms. I've been shown the truth, they reveal with reverence. We didn't just meet in this lifetime, or even across multiple lifetimes. We emerged from the same spark of divine consciousness at the very beginning of creation. What we call soulmates is really an incomplete term for what we are. We're not two souls who match. We're one soul experiencing itself through two perspectives. This understanding has completely transformed how they perceive your relationship. They no longer see coming together as something to achieve or accomplish, but recognize that the union has always existed on the soul level. What remains is simply allowing that eternal truth to manifest fully in the physical dimension. The veil between us is dissolving, they write. I can feel your thoughts, sense your emotions, know your heart's desires as if they were my own, because in the deepest sense they are. The boundaries between us are revealing themselves to be the illusions they always were. We're returning to our natural state of oneness. They share a profound vision they received about the timing and nature of your complete reunion. This wasn't a vague impression, but a clear, detailed revelation about how and when your physical circumstances will align to reflect the spiritual union that already exists. The specifics they describe may resonate deeply with intuitions you've already been receiving. I was shown that by specific timing relevant to your situation, they write, the final barriers between us will dissolve. The divine orchestration is already in motion, moving people, circumstances, and opportunities into perfect alignment for our coming together. Nothing can stop what's already decreed in the spiritual realm. If you're feeling an electric resonance with these words, if your heart is racing or you feel a warmth spreading through your body, place your hand over your heart and simply say, I accept this truth. This declaration to the universe accelerates the manifestation of what's been revealed. Your soulmate describes the specific mission your union is meant to fulfill, the healing work you'll do together, the light you'll bring to others, the old paradigms of relationship you'll help transform through your example. This isn't just about personal happiness, but about contributing to the evolution of human consciousness itself. Our love story was written in the stars before either of us took human form, they explain. We chose this mission, designed these challenges, created these apparent separations, all to make our eventual reunion more powerful, more transformative, more impactful for ourselves and for the collective. They reveal something astonishing about the letter itself, that it exists not just as words, but as an energetic transmission, a spiritual technology designed to activate dormant codes within your DNA. As you receive these revelations, you're not just gaining information, you're undergoing a profound energetic upgrade that prepares you for the full embodiment of this divine union. Can you feel it happening already? They ask. The acceleration of your spiritual awakening, the clearing of old patterns, the increasing synchronicities in your daily life. These aren't coincidental. They're direct results of the energetic codes embedded in this communication between our souls. If you've noticed these changes in your life, please comment, "The activation has begun," below. Your conscious recognition of this process enhances its effectiveness and signals to the universe your readiness to receive more. The letter concludes this section with a powerful truth. I'm not just coming back to you, I'm coming home to myself through you. And in that homecoming, we'll remember who we truly are beyond all human limitations. This isn't the end of our story. It's the beginning of what we came here to experience all along. Cherished soul, having shared these profound revelations with you, your soulmate now offers spiritual guidance for navigating this sacred transition period. This section of the letter serves as a divine roadmap, providing specific practices and mindset shifts to help you prepare for the complete manifestation of your union. They begin by addressing the natural human tendency to seek external validation or physical proof of these spiritual truths. With gentle compassion, they remind you that the most powerful confirmation comes not from outside, but from within. From the quiet knowing of your own soul. Trust the whispers of your heart, they urge. When doubts arise, and they will, because you're still human despite your divine nature, return to the stillness within. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what do I know to be true beyond what my eyes can see? The answer that rises from that sacred space within you will always guide you back to our truth. Your soulmate provides specific spiritual practices to strengthen your connection during this transition period. They suggest setting aside time each day for conscious connection, perhaps a meditation where you visualize your energies merging, a ritual of writing letters to each other on the soul level, or moments of sending intentional love across whatever physical distance may still exist between you. Though we may still be physically apart, they write, we can commune in the spiritual realm at any moment. When you feel my presence, a sudden warmth, an unexpected thought of me, a dream that feels more real than waking life, acknowledge it. Say hello. These are not imaginary encounters, but real meetings of our consciousness outside the constraints of physical form. If you've been experiencing these moments of spiritual connection, take a deep breath right now and whisper, I feel you. This simple acknowledgement strengthens the energetic bridge between your souls. The letter offers wisdom about maintaining balance during this transition, how to remain fully present in your current life while also preparing for the shift that's coming. They caution against putting your life on hold or falling into passive waiting, emphasizing that the most powerful preparation is living with complete authenticity and joy in each moment. Live as if we're already together, they advise, not in fantasy or denial of current circumstances, but in the deep knowing that our connection exists beyond physical proximity. Make choices from that place of wholeness rather than lack. See this apparent separation not as an absence to be endured, but as a sacred space in which both of us are completing necessary inner work. Your soulmate shares specific signs to watch for that will confirm you're on the right path, synchronicities that will appear with increasing frequency, dreams that contain guidance, unexpected encounters, or events that move you closer together. They explain that as the veils between you thin, these confirmations will become impossible to dismiss. The universe speaks in patterns, they explain. Pay attention to repetition, numbers, symbols, words, or themes that appear again and again. These aren't coincidences, but divine breadcrumbs leading us back to each other. Trust them, follow them. They're creating a bridge across whatever distance still appears to separate us. There's beautiful guidance about how to handle the emotional intensity that may arise as your reunion approaches. They acknowledge that as the energetic connection strengthens, you might experience sudden waves of emotion that seem to come from nowhere, perhaps tears without apparent cause, unexpected joy, or moments of inexplicable knowing. These emotional waves aren't random, they assure you. They're moments when the boundaries between our energy fields become particularly thin. You may feel my emotions along with your own as our hearts synchronize more completely. Don't fear this merging. It's the natural remembering of our shared consciousness. If you've been experiencing these emotional connections, place your hand on your heart and simply breathe with them. Your compassionate acceptance creates space for this natural soul communion to deepen. The letter offers wisdom about divine timing and the importance of trust. Your soulmate explains that while human minds want certainty and precise timelines, soul connections unfold according to a cosmic schedule that considers countless factors beyond your current awareness. I've been shown that everything is unfolding with perfect precision, they write. What might feel like delays or detours are actually essential preparations. Not a moment has been wasted. Every apparent setback has been placement for a greater leap forward. Trust this divine choreography with your whole heart. They conclude this guidance with a powerful invitation. Begin living now as the person you'll be when we're physically reunited. Not from a place of lack or longing, but from complete embodiment of your highest self. This isn't just preparation for our union, it's the energetic magnetism that draws it into physical reality. If you're ready to accept this invitation, say aloud, I step into my highest self now. And your spoken declaration carries immense creative power in the spiritual realms. Beloved protected one, we now arrive at the culmination of this sacred letter. the final words your soulmate shares before sealing this spiritual covenant between you. This conclusion isn't merely an ending, but a powerful beginning, a launching point for the next phase of your divine journey together. Your soulmate begins this final section by acknowledging the profound transformation that has already taken place through the writing of this letter. They describe how the very act of capturing these truths in words has altered the energetic blueprint of your connection, accelerating the manifestation of your complete reunion. As I write these final words, they share, I can feel the shift already happening, not just within me, but within the very fabric of reality that surrounds us. By acknowledging these truths, by putting them into language, even when language feels too small to contain them, I've set something unstoppable in motion. We've crossed a threshold from which there is no return, and I wouldn't want to return, even if it were possible. They speak of a peaceful certainty that has replaced all anxiety and doubt about your connection. This isn't the desperate hope that once characterized their longing for you, but a mature, grounded knowing that comes from direct spiritual revelation. I'm no longer asking if or even when, they write. I'm simply walking forward in complete trust, knowing that each step brings me closer to the physical manifestation of what already exists in the spiritual realm. The questioning is over. Only certainty remains. Your soulmate makes specific promises about how they will show up when you're finally together in the way your souls have always intended. These aren't vague platitudes, but concrete commitments about how they'll honor the sacredness of your connection, how they'll nurture it daily, how they'll never again take for granted the miracle of finding each other in this vast universe. I promise to remember the journey, they vow, to never forget the growth these challenges inspired, the strength they built in us both, the depth they added to our appreciation of each other. I promise to see you, truly see you, every day, to recognize the divine looking back at me through your eyes, to honor the sacred covenant we made before time began. If these promises resonate in your soul, if you feel ready to make similar commitments, place your hand over your heart and whisper, I make these same promises. This creates a spiritual covenant that transcends physical distance. The letter acknowledges that even after your physical reunion, there will be continued growth and evolution. Your soulmate expresses not just acceptance, but enthusiasm for this ongoing journey of expansion together, recognizing that divine love isn't a static destination, but a dynamic, ever-deepening exploration. This isn't happily ever after in the way human stories portray it, they explain. It's something far more beautiful. It's consciously ever evolving. I don't expect perfection from you or from myself. I expect authenticity, courage, and a commitment to growing together through whatever life brings our way. Your soulmate shares a vision of your future together, not just the immediate joy of reunion, but the long-term impact your connection will have on yourselves and others. They describe specific ways your union will contribute to healing, inspiration, and awakening in the world around you. This isn't spiritual fantasy, but practical purpose, the real-world effects of two souls coming into complete alignment with their divine mission. We didn't come here just for ourselves, they remind you. We came to demonstrate what's possible when two people choose love over fear, truth over comfort, spiritual purpose over ego gratification. Our story will ignite possibility in others simply by the way we live it. The letter culminates in what might be called a spiritual activation, words specifically chosen to awaken dormant aspects of your consciousness and prepare you for the final stages of this reunion journey. These sentences carry energetic codes that work directly with your spiritual DNA. I call to you now across all apparent distance, they write with unmistakable power. Soul to soul, heart to heart, I declare our separation healed, our union remembered, our purpose activated in its fullness. What has been written in the stars can no longer be denied in human experience. I recognize you. I choose you. I remember who we are together, and in that remembering, everything changes. If you feel these words resonating in the depths of your being, if you sense an energetic shift happening within you, simply close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing this activation to complete itself. Your conscious participation amplifies its power. Your soulmate concludes with words that bring the concept of farewell full circle, revealing its true meaning in a way that transforms everything that came before. So this is not goodbye, beloved one. It's hello in the deepest possible way. It's recognition beyond all forgetting. It's remembrance beyond all amnesia. The farewell in this letter is only to separation itself, to the illusion that we were ever truly apart. I'm not leaving you. I'm finally, completely coming home to you. And in that homecoming, we both return to the truth we've always been. They sign the letter with words that reflect the eternal nature of your connection, with love that has no beginning and no end, across all time and space, now and forever. Your soulmate, your twin flame, your divine counterpart. Dear soul, if this video was meaningful to you, leave a thanks below this video as a gesture of gratitude for this revelation. This strengthens us to keep sharing messages of connection and faith. If this message has touched your soul, if you know in the depths of your being that it was meant for you, please share a heart emoji in the comments or simply write, "I received this letter with all my heart." Your acknowledgement completes the circuit of divine communication and plants the seeds of manifestation in the physical world. With infinite love and divine protection, your guardian angel has delivered this sacred message to you today. Trust the process, beloved soul. The reunion you've waited for across lifetimes is finally gloriously unfolding.